production is brought to you by DHBN, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
Welcome into the Stoner Sports with Skunky and Bones. Let me guess, your first name is Scott Bones, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Dude, how's it going?
It's going.
Yeah? Are you all wrapped up in the Little League World Series?
No, actually, I switched it over to the preseason between the Eagles and Patriots.
Oh, I didn't realize that was on.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have said, I think somebody said it last night at the end. So
waiting for Texas and Philly to start. Right now, it's Cuba and the Czech Republic, 4-1, top of the six.
I noticed them little Cuban kids get mad quite a bit.
Yeah.
I seen a kid get mad because he didn't get a strike called on a pitch and he threw his arms up. And then one kid bunted and got called out after he slid into first and he got up and threw his arms up.
Yeah.
Like, good grief.
Yeah, they're pretty intense.
Yeah. I guess that's the most intense team.
Yeah, well, they probably get it from watching, Major League Baseball players.
Well, yeah, and they want to win. Dude, that's the Little League College World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Anyway, what do you think here? Anything?
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
You
know what? First, let me say, somebody in the back area is just spreading vicious rumors.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I heard that the New York Mets were on a one-game streak, and what I'm looking at right here says the A's 7 and the Mets 6. Now, I'm not sure what day that is. It says August 16th.
That would be today.
Tomorrow. Anyway, it couldn't be tomorrow. It ain't happened yet. Anyway, I don't know. That may not be a vicious rumor.
Maybe they were winning at one time and then blew it in the end or something.
Somebody got a little carried away, huh? Well, so anyway, what were you saying?
Yesterday, it seems as though they may have already lost that streak today.
Yeah.
Dang Mets.
There goes their chances at the World Series.
Right. A New York team's still in it at least. Do you see where Aaron Judge hit his 300th home run?
I did.
For his career?
That. Yeah, his career 300th career home run.
Fastest ever, 955 games. He hit them in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
what's the home run record sitting at?
I don't know. 64, whatever Barry Bonds hit. 74? I don't remember.
But there was rumor that they were going to take that away, his record, because of steroids, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't pay that close attention to baseball until September when it gets closer to the playoffs.
Yeah. September, close to October.
So that's a lot of baseball games in a day to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in such a boring sport.
It's fun to go to games, like go live. I've been to a couple live Mariner games.
Right?
They might lose, they might win,
Or,
but they're really fun to go to.
yeah.
You kind of get behind your team, and
Did you ever go watch them when they had Griffey Jr. there?
I did not. I missed it when he played.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, we get to go watch the Reds or the Indians.
Cowboys to sign defensive end somebody. I missed the end of that.
Well, that's
Andy
weird,
Reid.
considering they don't have a quarterback or a receiver or the other linebacker.
The Texans are gonna start their starting lineup.
Yep.
Neighbors back at practice for the Jets or the
Jim?
Giants. I mean,
Jim Neighbors.
Titans are gonna. Titans will sit their starters Saturday against the Seahawks. The Raiders will play their starters on Saturday against Cowboys, and Hard Knocks training camp Chicago Bears. What's up, T-Bro?
I think the Hard Knocks is staged to a certain point.
And the Eagles and Patriots are just starting their
That's
first.
that's breaking news right there, Matt. Way to go. Mm-hmm.
And looks like Jacoby Brissett is gonna play today for the Patriots.
Oh. What channel was that on? Do you know?
It's on the NFL Network.
There's sports news again, man. We're killing it. We are. Although it's preseason.
Yeah, second game of the preseason. I know the Seahawks have one preseason game left, which is against the Browns, and then I guess
Brown's
they'll
going to whoop that ass. I got to tell you. You know why? Because we got Myles Garrett.
No, but is he gonna play?
It don't matter. We still got him. That counts. So I don't know.
I know in the I know in the regular season the Seahawks are going to play the Patriots
Yeah.
along with the Denver Broncos and who knows how many other Dolphins, all them.
Right. Well, listen, dude, I don't know, you probably watched. Scott and I used to talk back and forth about the Falcons.
Yeah.
How they had the old dude, Cousins, and then took the young dude. Well, now I see where they signed a defensive back named Justin Simmons 1 year for $8 million, and he was a 2-time Pro Bowler a few years back.
Wow.
And they also signed a pass rusher named Matthew Judon.
Yeah.
So they must be trying to really be contenders, it looks like.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe that's how they think they need to go about doing it.
I always liked watching the Falcons play. The Falcons and the Saints, because my wife's a Saints fan, and they're pretty good games because I believe they're rivals and they're in the same division, if I remember correctly.
Does your wife wear a paper bag over her head when she watches the game?
No.
No. Like the Aints? She's an Aints fan.
I think she only likes the Saints because she wants to go to New Orleans for, just to go and experience it, like the Mardi Gras and.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I guess you could catch the Mardi Gras and Saints game.
Oh,
Right. Right. Weirdly enough, my son-in-law is trying to get to every NFL stadium to see a game.
Oh, good luck with that.
He's been to quite a few.
That's gotta cost some money right there.
Yeah, I don't know. But interestingly enough, I don't know.
There's a lot of. I know tickets aren't cheap. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Off the Edge with Cam Jordan.
What is that?
I believe it's a podcast.
Oh. About what? Sports?
No, it's a sports podcast called Off the Edge, and it's Cam Jordan of the Saints. He hosts that.
Cam Jordan. He's a defensive tackle or something, isn't he?
I think so. Oh, what a pass and an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. You're watching the actual football game?
When the season starts, I'll probably watch it. I watch college and I watch pro. So if my Saturday and Sundays, if I'm not working a job, I'm usually sitting here watching those games.
Dude, you need to get a job at the TV selling place so you can watch it when you're working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best Buy or whatever they call it. Be good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at Fred Meyer last year, and they were pretty strict. Like, they had a TV in the break room, but you only got certain channels, and sports wasn't one of them.
Oh.
But luckily I have this stuff on my phone, so I'd pull it up on my phone and be watching a game in my break room.
Instead of working?
Well,
Nah. Bones.
For my hour lunch and my maybe 10-minute break.
Do you do that while you're DJing?
No.
Nah. You don't pull up your radio and listen to the radio while you're DJing. I do, man.
I pull it up and listen to see, and make sure that everything's aligned up and that I'm on the air, and then I usually shut it off.
Yeah. Huh.
And then I'll turn it back on whenever I get ready to switch over.
Yeah. So, what do you know about college football? Since it's about to start, I believe it actually starts before pros.
Yeah, it does. I'm a big Razorback fan and a Duck fan, being in Oregon.
Who we got here?
We got some UFC breaking news, it looks like.
I'm pretty stoked about the UFC coming up, man.
Yeah, UFC 305 Saturday.
Yeah, I got some inside information.
Folks, here for Yahoo Sports, we got UFC 305 going down from Perth, Australia this weekend. Airs on Saturday night here in the United States. What I'm watching for is the tipping point of the UFC middleweight division here in the main event.
Oh, shit.
You got Dricus du Plessis, the champion, who comes in here trying to defend his belt. Now, one of two things is going to happen. If du Plessis wins, he will have beaten Robert Whittaker, Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, basically everybody who matters in the middleweight division at this point.
Robert
if that happens,
Whittaker,
you got to give him his respect. He is the guy. He is not a caretaker champion anymore at that point. You got to say he's the best 185-pounder in the world, which I know a lot of people are not quite ready to do just yet. Does Israel Adesanya get his belt back again? Because at this point, he's had it, lost it, had it.
Out indefinitely.
Now would be the moment where you really etch your name in stone as one of the greatest UFC champions of all time, one of the greatest middleweights, the clear heir to Anderson Silva's throne. To do that, that's the stuff of MMA legends. And if you ask me right now which way I think it's going to go, honestly, I couldn't tell you. And that's why they have the fights.
Well, yeah. Forrest Whitaker, man, that guy beating Forrest Whitaker, that says a lot because I know he's used to be pretty good.
Right. Huh. Man, I don't know who to take in that fight. I know who I guess I better stick with my information.
What did you like about that matchup the most when you heard the name? Just his legendary status, or
Mario
is it
Batista.
like maybe a win over him puts you over? I guess to use a pro wrestling term. I guess specifically, what did you like the most about it?
Defensive tackle
Mainly,
Williams has sore
just like a
shoulder
big
for the
name,
Jets.
big name, a big challenge, and
Offensive
big
tackle
win over
Smith
someone
ready
like
for
Jose in
practice.
this
Tyrone
division.
Smith ready
It,
for practice
it
again with
shoots
the
you up
Jets.
the rankings, and you become known to a lot of people after a
Carl
fight like
Lawson,
that. So
defensive end, signs with
that's
the
what I'm excited
Cowboys.
about. I know I was pushing for like a fight against Rob
Huh.
Font, and then I just kind of forgot about it. And like I said, I was just ready for any fight. So when they gave me Jose, I was like, I'm glad I'm waited, and I just stayed patient, and it's going to be a good fight.
Jonathan Martinez just fought him, right? And this was supposed to be kind of like an older Aldo who's maybe exiting the sport. He's just going to get rid of that last fight that the UFC had him, and then he looks great, and then he says, "I might even sign, with the UFC again." And we all kind of rolled our eyes. We just thought, well, his best days might be past him. Although he did look good, to be fair.
Mhm.
In his last fight, but we thought, man, he's going to exit the sport, go do some boxing, and maybe just be a free agent, right? Enjoy that. Instead, he resigns. But I want to ask you, you're not Jonathan Martinez, you're Mario Batista, but he did say, he goes, man, I got caught up in the moment, of this guy being a legend. And his fight, to be fair, was in Rio. Yours will be in Salt Lake City. But how do you make sure, I guess, you don't get caught up like that? Do you look up to him like that, like kind of like a legend, a guy you looked up to as you were coming through too?
No, not in that sense. I look at him as like a martial artist, and the things he's able to do in the cage. So like for that last fight I get against Ricky Simone, I was looking at guys that had good takedown defense, and he was one of the guys I was watching. Like just studying to fight against Ricky. Like kind of take like what he does. But no, as like a legend and like someone I got starstruck about, I don't think he's one of those guys for me. So, yeah, I don't know what was going on with Jonathan Martinez, but I don't think it's gonna be a factor with me.
Do you not get starstruck by any fighters or any athletes, or just not him in particular?
No, I think I try to stay away from my sport, when it comes to MMA, and especially in my weight division or kind of close. I don't look at him like those type of guys. It's more like competition kind of things, and I always like picture in my head, like, oh, how could I beat these guys? Or like, how would I fight these guys? Say it's like a boxing champion, like if I ran into Canelo, like, yeah, I'd be pretty starstruck about that,
Yeah.
But when it comes to our sport, I think I learned a long time ago not to do something like that.
Our guest is Mario Batista. Again, he signed on to fight at UFC 307 on October 5th. So we're about 2 months away from a great matchup in the bantamweight division. This carries a lot of weight because both guys, obviously, Aldo's a former champ in the featherweight division. He's trying to get another belt maybe before he exits the sport. And Mario's won 6 straight and hasn't lost in 3 years. This is going to be a good one, folks. All right, Goes, what do you have for Mario Batista?
Mario, can we get your thoughts on Jose's last performance? What did you think? Did it catch you by surprise? Do you feel like, a lot of people say he's back, or some people just say, hey, maybe he just had one good fight? What did you think of the performance?
It's hard to say. Like, I think he looked great. He looked in shape. He looked ready. He made 135, and I think he's just going to get as ready as he can for each fight. And then it's just, like I said, it's hard to say just because of Martinez and how he handled the fight. But I thought Jose looked good. But I don't know, going into this fight, like as far as like preparation, I'm getting ready for the best version Aldo is, and like WEC Aldo. That's the kind of Aldo.
Do you feel it? Do you feel it? cashier. Are we there yet? Is it really, really, really yet? Do you feel it? When you're lost in the world and you can't find a reason, do you feel it? Do you feel it? When you're lost in the world and you can't find a reason, do you feel it? Do you feel it? Walk me through the forest with these forces that are flawless. We are firing on every single cylinder like Porsches. Hit me like a horse kick. How did you get so gorgeous? The fuck would I do if I was stuck without you? I'd be just stumbling through, coming unglued. When I shine, you shine like the sun and the moon. It can dim the lights down when we come in the room. Dancing in a hotel down in Nashville, between the waterfall and the cashier. Are we there yet? Is it really, really, really yet? Do you feel it? When you're lost in the world and you can't find a reason, do you feel it? Do you feel it? When you're lost in the world and you can't find a reason, do you feel it? 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 When you're lost in the world and you can't find a reason, do you feel it? Do you feel it? When you're lost in the world and you can't find a reason, do you feel it? Do you feel it? Dancing in a hotel down in Nashville, between the water and you can't find a reason. Are we there yet? Do you feel it? Do you feel it?
Crooked Coast. Very nice.
Lovely.
Yeah. So what else you got, dude?
Breaking news: Brewers Christian Yelich to undergo season-ending back surgery for the Milwaukee Brewers, and that's baseball.
Well, I don't know about baseball, nor the Milwaukee Brewers. Or Christian Yelich or whatever you call him.
Yeah.
But well, dude, let's talk about, I guess, some college football. It's going to start soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the year they're going to 12-team playoff, correct?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. What do you
Uh,
think?
I think it's gonna be interesting to see how the bowl games and all that stuff get factored into that mix, and who plays for the national championship and all.
Right.
There,
Well, go ahead.
I'd like to see the Ducks in there, but they're in a new conference. The Razorbacks, they're in a tough conference. They always have been.
Right.
They're same conference as Alabama and all those teams that are.
Right. Maybe that conference will get about 8 out of the 12 teams.
Yeah, maybe.
Possible. I saw where Ohio State is going to start a Kid named Will Howard who transferred from Kansas State.
Oh wow.
But with that, they've got Ohio State ranked number 2. I don't know about that one.
Mm, Ohio State's they're up there in the. I think they're always in the top polls and stuff,
Right.
along with teams like Alabama and LSU and USC and
Right.
stuff like that.
Kind of odd that they'd put out a poll without even seeing them play a game, isn't it? Or a
Yeah,
ranking. Yeah. I don't know. Weird.
but that poll changes. There, like, every week it changes. The bigger games, the rival games that they play when they get to playing each other around, I believe, Thanksgiving.
Right. And that's the end of the season.
Yeah,
So if you lose in, it's pretty much too late. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it's weird. It's weird how college works because they start late August and then they go in it for 3 months because you get to like November around Thanksgiving, it's starting to end for them, and
Right.
the NFL's barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the NFL starts. Soon.
It starts
It's starting now. Dumbass. Yep, I gotcha.
It started, yeah. Preseason starts in, like now, and then it goes. Regular season starts in September and runs through. I want to say through into next year.
Yeah, the Super Bowl will be next year,
Yeah,
February or something.
yeah.
Yeah. So, dude, I also see the college football playoff selection committee will no longer use a conference championship as a tiebreaker.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's
So,
interesting.
well, I personally think it's just dumb
Yeah,
because I think if you can't be your conference champion, you shouldn't be able to be national champion.
yeah. True.
Somehow doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem fair.
Well, now with 12 teams, it seems a little more crazier, but with just
Yeah,
the 4 teams, hell, there was what, 5 conferences eligible to make the playoffs, 6 something.
yes,
One of them just never mattered.
yeah. Ooh, Texas and Pennsylvania World Series has finally started, and it's 0-0.
Barn burner, defensive battle over there and wherever they're at.
Yeah, there's 2 outs, and they have 2 runners on. I don't know what team's what, but I believe Pennsylvania is batting and Texas is pitching. So
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Chris Kirk, he sunk a hole-in-one in golf. He's 2 strokes back.
And who was it?
Christian Kirk in golf.
Yeah. That's
And
the FedEx Cup stuff, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's for a bunch of money.
Bills linebacker Matt Milano tore his bicep.
Yeah. He
And
broke his leg last year.
Will Howard, we were talking about him.
Will Howard.
Yeah.
What was he?
He's the Ohio State quarterback
Oh,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
were talking about.
Right. Yep. So I don't know. You guys, your team, Oregon, is coming over with Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see because I know that you know Oregon lost their quarterback and in the NFL draft, so
Right.
we'll see who they got. The Razorbacks lost their quarterback that they had for the last 2 years and into the transfer portal, which I don't understand how the transfer portal works in college. Do you know how that works?
I do not know. I
Like,
know.
do they have?
I know you used to transfer, and then you had to sit a year before you could start playing at the new college.
Yeah,
Now I think they can go right and play. I'm not sure.
does our stat guy know?
I don't know that either. He may or may not. A little bit of hockey. So
Yeah, I seen the hockey is gonna be starting soon, isn't it?
I think the regular season starts around the 1st of October. Yeah.
So we got 2 months.
Right. Dude, before long, there'll be more sports than you can keep up with.
Yeah,
Right now, nothing.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the Winter Classic this year is played at Wrigley Field. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's in Chicago.
It's the outdoor game they play.
Yeah.
It said after the pro game, they're going to have 2 college games play there.
Nice.
Outdoors. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And I don't remember the team, but they were all in frozen, whatever they call it, the college playoffs in hockey. Frozen 8 or something. Frozen 16. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that should be pretty cool if you're near Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Portland, Oregon's they've been in on the talks of getting a hockey team, but I don't think we've ever got one.
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. They gave one to Utah, right?
Yeah.
Nice. The hockey club.
And I know Seattle's got one now. They got the Seattle Kraken.
What a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kraken.
They're not good. By what I've seen, they're not no New York Ranger caliber
Well,
Toronto Maple Leafs, but give them time.
I think they were decent a few years back, weren't they?
Maybe.
Maybe around a year after they started or so. I thought they were pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's too late to stay up for me and watch out west games.
Yeah. And I know that I remember you and Scott or you and Hippie talking about the Kraken getting that female coach too, like the first female coach for hockey.
Yeah, bench coach, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Which I guess is great for her, but I don't understand. There is a professional women's hockey league. Why not go head coach there? I would think maybe not as much money.
Probably, yeah, I would think so.
Huh. I'll be damned. I think I'd rather be a head coach.
Yeah, I would think a head coach would probably head coach in any sport, I believe, makes pretty good money.
It doesn't in 5th and 6th grade basketball at Liberty Union. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it pays nothing.
That's crazy.
Sure, you get some gray hairs and gray beard, but other than that, some enjoyment. I enjoyed doing it, but the pay wasn't much. So, you coach any sports?
No, I've tried to coach like a friend of my mom's son's baseball team, like Little League, but
Yeah.
it's such a headache because they want you to be there. It's almost like they don't.
A job.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
want to listen. They don't want to listen to you. You know, you're not their parent. You're their coach.
Yeah.
They don't know if they have to ask for permission to go to the bathroom when they're up to bat. It's
Right.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I believe Hippie coached some sports.
Sure. He did. But dude, that was back in the day. The kids listened to you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, a little better than they do now, anyway.
yeah.
Sure. And we would just make them run. That's it.
Well, that's what I would do.
Sure. Make them run till they was too tired to disrespect you.
You don't want to listen to me call a player, and you want to get better. Nowadays you got
Yeah.
if you ever watch TikTok and you watch these coaches' moms, these umpires are throwing parents out of games for swearing, and
Right.
umpire might make a bad call and they get cussed out, and then you get tossed and sent
Right.
home. That's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah. So, dude, I saw a video of my grandson. Hudson is apparently going to be a center because I saw a video of him snapping shotgun to a quarterback. So I assume that's what's going on. But this is only his third year, and I don't understand why they would not teach him the fundamentals instead of the shotgun.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what we always tried to teach them.
Yeah, you always want to teach them the up close and the, back in the shotgun.
The basics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how to block and how to tackle.
Yeah.
Right. Not shotgun.
How to protect that quarterback, make sure he doesn't get
Absolutely.
face full of turf or dirt or whatever they're playing on.
Right. Well, with all the rule changes, I don't know how hard it would be to coach now. From what, you know what I mean? From what I know and was taught playing.
Yeah.
The only thing I do know is you've never been able to lead with your helmet. That's always been a penalty.
Yeah.
The rest of the crap, I don't know. Sissies. But anyway, dude, that's all the news I've got. Unless you can look something up right quick.
I don't have my computer by me, so.
Well, that ain't gonna help us any.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Robert Griffin III got fired from ESPN broadcasting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, did you know he even worked there?
I didn't even know he was a broadcaster.
Right. I thought he still played football somewhere, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. They also fired their NFL Sunday Countdown host, Sam Ponder.
Wow, they're just
Everybody left.
firing everybody left and right, aren't they?
I don't know what this is about, and I'm not going to open it and read it, but I will. It says, Grateful Dead's Mickey Hart explores connection of music, sports, and a new film. Let me see what that's about. Sounds pretty interesting. So, Mickey Hart, I think, is the drummer for the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Was. He said he was failing everything in school except phys ed. Yeah. So it all right. The movie is called Rhythm Masters.
Oh, so it's a sports movie.
Well, it says it's rooted in Grateful Dead drummer Mickey Hart's lifelong explorations of elite competition and rhythmic entertainment. Mickey, who has been one of the world's leading percussionists for 6 decades now, is a lifelong obsessive sports fan. Yeah. In 1962, at 19, he dropped out of high school to join the Air Force, and was failing everything except music and phys ed. Anyway, there's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got less interesting as I went. So
I just seen that the Southeast Conference football games are going to be televised on ABC this year.
nice.
Last year, well, just about every year that I remember, if you wanted to watch a Southeast Conference game, you always had to watch it on CBS. So,
Right.
what do we got here?
I don't know. Something about college football said.
Yeah.
Are you going to win the title with a quarterback who stayed or a quarterback you brought in? And I look at the top 4, 5. It's really throughout these contenders. Georgia, Texas, keeping their guys. Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, right? Second, third year in the program. These are guys they recruited. Or I guess Quinn Ewers was a transfer, but it was a while ago. Jalen Milrose sitting there at 5. Drew Aller is at 8. Michigan's 9. Well, who knows who's going to be their starter, but whatever. I don't really see Michigan necessarily going to win the title. But let's just go with those top ones. Or are you Ohio State, who says we're going to plug in Will Howard from Kansas State and we're going to win it? Or Oregon, we're going to plug in Dylan Gabriel and we're going to win it.
There you go.
How do you build a champion at through that position in this era? I think that's going to be, I don't think we're going to have a definitive answer in 1 year, but I think it's going to be interesting. Can you do this with this kind of plug and play guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would assume the coaches think they can, or they would not get them to come there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know. Man, the SEC is awful good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ohio State is awful good in the Big Ten. Not so much in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they've got players for days. Shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of who can step in and do probably pretty well, just as well, if not as a starter.
Yeah, well, look at Bo Nix. It's, he's with Denver, of course, this year for pros, but he was a transfer portal. He went from Auburn to Oregon, and he did pretty damn good there.
Yes, he was hurt a lot at Auburn, I think, though.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So,
I have the greatest postseason in college football history by far, and I think it's going to lead to the most interesting regular season we've had. Yes, we lose a couple of things in it. One being, the absolute gravity of every loss, because teams are going to have multiple losses and get into the playoff. But I think that there's just going to be so much gained in terms of wider audience of anticipation and optimism and hope that you're getting in the playoff, and then the playoff games themselves. And I think all the jockeying for positions, and as we kind of figure out, what it's looking like, and like, oh my gosh, we may have Mississippi playing in South Bend in December, or we may have Penn State going to Tallahassee in December or something. I just think that the anticipation for this is going to be huge, and then I expect it to deliver as well. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and we're going to have teams coming from the sounds like in your area probably traveling here to Oregon to play too. So
Right. Right. Yeah, they'll have to go for the home games, or what I guess they'd be our away games.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, they go out there to play the Rose Bowl once a year, so
yeah,
not really a big deal.
no.
Nah. You don't Oregon does Oregon have an elevation difference, or is that just Colorado?
I think we do. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know. The only good thing about
It feels like the most anticipated college football season ever, or in our recent history. And my pick, the other thing is the outcome of realignment. And the new leagues that we have, the new makeup, in the huge matchups. It felt like, guys, 3, maybe 4 weekends every year throughout the season, there were like kind of dud weekends where you only had, maybe you had a 1 or 2 top 25 matchups, but maybe you didn't have any top 10 or any top 15. That's probably not going to be the case this year because of realignment and the new conferences. You just have bigger matchups, and it seems like every weekend there are 2 or 4 or 6 big brands colliding that are ranked in the top 10, top 20 of the country. Like, just Ohio State visits Oregon, right? Things we're not used to of conference games have become will be conference games. Oklahoma, LSU, Michigan, USC. I'm excited about those sort of matchups, and the other things about realignment too, which is like Arizona, in the Big 12, Utah in the Big 12, and those matchups as well. But the Big 10 and SECs. Oh, and I can't forget Cal, Stanford, and SMU. Right, SMU host Florida State in like 3 or 4 weeks, I believe. So I'm excited about these new kind of matchups that we're not used to seeing as often, that are now conference games.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it will be.
So with that and whatever they've added to each conference, you know how at the start of every year each team plays those 3 crappy games.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll cut that out some. I would certainly think they'll have more conference games to play now.
I would think so. But I was just looking at like the first team that Arkansas plays this year. They play, I don't think they're in the same conference, but they play against Arkansas Pine Bluff. So people are saying that that's an easy win for us.
Should be.
But you never know, because some of these smaller schools, they like to shut the bigger schools up and give their dominance. So
Right.
So who could bounce back this 2024 season? It's hard to justify saying that Georgia is bouncing back after a 12-1 season last year, but the Bulldogs fell short of the playoff, and that has grown to become the expectation in Athens. Expect Georgia to be right back in the championship conversation, with quarterback Carson Beck entering year 2 in Mike Bobo's offense, a system in which he thrived in the second half of the year last year, in addition to one of the deepest rosters and best head coaches in college football. Another team that could bounce back is Utah. Their 2023 campaign was riddled with injuries, resulting in an 8-5 final record and an abysmal offense. But starting quarterback Cam Rising is back and is healthy for year 5 with explosive threats around him. The Utes have built a reputation for big and bruising defensive fronts, and this season should be no different. If the Utes can stay healthy their first year in the Big 12, expect to see them in the CFP. One team that could disappoint this year after a disappointing end to the 2023 season is Florida State. The Seminoles lost quarterback Jordan Travis, leading rusher Trey Benson, and their 3 leading receivers, Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, and tight end Jaheim Bell. Defensively, they'll have to replace 3 of their leading sackers, defensive tackles Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, and linebacker Kalen DeLoach. That is a lot, to say the least. Now, Florida State's roster still has plenty of talent, including former Clemson and Oregon State quarterback DJ Uiagalelei, and there's a lot of belief in head coach Mike Norvell. But the Noles might just have too much newness to repeat the magic of last season.
They magically got left out of the playoffs.
Yeah, that quarterback that Florida State got from Oregon State, he's a good hardworking kid. I've seen obviously him play against the Ducks,
Right.
and they came up just a little bit short in what we call the Civil War, and I think if he would have had a couple more reps probably in that game, he probably would have shut us up for good.
Right. So when you say they call it the Civil War, why is that? Is one team north in the state and the other one south, or what?
So the Ducks are in Eugene, and the Beavers are in Corvallis. Corvallis is the closest to where I'm at in Salem, and I believe they're south, and Eugene's more up north. So
Okay, interesting. I didn't know they call it that.
yeah.
The theme for the ACC in college football this season might be quantity over quality. And no, that's not a misspeak for once from me. It's just being honest. There are 17 teams now, thanks to expansion across college football in the ACC. But how many of them are real college football playoff contenders? Do we really believe right now moving forward that Clemson is who they've been in the past? I don't know. Can Florida State get any respect knowing that they were left without being part of the college football playoff system on an undefeated season? And in the meantime, maybe Miami is the only other team in the ACC with a reasonable shot at making national playoff noise. Now, playoff expansion will help the ACC. Let's not get it twisted. Simply the fact that somebody from the ACC has to make the playoffs will prevent what we saw last season from happening again. But there is still a statement of respect that I think lords over the ACC, knowing how Florida State was treated last year, that will still be part of the conversation around college football. The other thing we have to remember is that because most of the ACC just isn't a juggernaut, we have to realize that there's very little, if any, room for error for most of these teams. One slip up in the SEC or the Big Ten will be forgiven. That's just fact. That same type of slip up in the ACC will not get grace from the committee when they consider seeding and at-large bids. We are now in a world where we're not sure if Clemson is good enough, and we're not sure what to make of the ACC. This year will be a statement year for the conference and for college football as a whole.
Wow.
What kind of year did he say? A statement year or stink?
I think he said statement year.
He should have maybe said stinkment. It didn't sound too good for the ACC, did it?
It didn't sound like it was too good, but
it really sounded bad for Florida State. Wow, they lost much. You think they got screwed last year?
I don't.
I don't either.
You know, the committee, I think, they went by win-loss record. They might have been, but they lost some they lost a couple tough games, or didn't lose any at all, but they were pretty close.
Yeah, but that quarterback got hurt and was out for most of the season, is what the problem was.
Yeah, and now he's a pro.
Where'd he go?
I can't remember.
I can't either.
And
so I don't know. Dude, the college football playoffs to me should have the 4 best teams in it.
Yeah.
With that being said, I guess the 4 best teams would be the conference champions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Except
how
for-
they do that though. I like how they do the one game and the other game. Those two teams play each other. The winner of those two teams play each other for the national title.
Right. Well, it'll still be that way. The only thing is, I would assume now you'll have the number 1 team in the country playing the number 12 team. So that probably won't be.
Yeah, probably won't be fair, but
I'm thinking some blowouts rather than good games.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of blowout games
A
this
little bit.
year. Because, like, the video was saying that we were watching earlier, with some guys in the transfer portal transferring to different schools, trying to learn their offensive line, trying to learn.
Right. So that's
And
more like pros.
Yeah. It takes time.
Right. Right. Dude, I was going to tell you something. I forgot what it was.
You got 3 minutes to tell me.
I don't remember.
Oh, no.
Oh, what do you think about Colorado?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, you're
I
not-
love Deion Sanders. I loved him as a player. He is a good coach. He got his son to be on, his quarterback. His son is a good athlete. I'm not going to take anything from him, but I don't think they're what they are.
What the media made him out to be.
Yeah, I don't. That video we were watching though about the Utah Utes. That kid's good. That kid is really good. It was too bad that he got hurt and he had to sit out the remaining of the season and not be able to battle for contention or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he is that good, and I see him going when he's eligible for the draft, when he makes himself eligible to go and makes that jump to the pros. I see him going, as one of the top prospects out there for sure. That's the reason why that's why I watch college football. I don't care if my team's playing or not. There's other good teams out there, and to watch these kids go from redshirt freshman to sophomore, junior, senior, and then when their name gets thrown in there when the draft comes around, I already know. I know how good they are. I know what their potential is, and I know if they're going to go up there high in the draft or not.
Right. You just want to know who your team's getting, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
there's times, I ain't gonna, I'm like any other fan for a, pro team. I might know I have a good quarterback with so and so, but if the kid's better than the pro we have in college and we say draft him, I don't see why he shouldn't get a shot.
well, dude, I think they all get a shot, or they wouldn't be in training camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And different shit happens. Like in Pittsburgh, what's his name got a calf injury.
Yeah.
So that gave Justin Fields a little bit of an edge, which he blew, I think, with all the fumbles.
Yeah.
Because I saw where Russell Wilson's playing this week.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And,
I don't know, dude.
They're human like everybody else. They're gonna make mistakes. It's their first year in the pros. They're still trying to learn the rules. They're still trying to learn
Right.
how they're trying to mesh with their teammates in practice along with in game style. And in game and practice are totally two different things.
Sure. Well, football now is a lot of timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to practice with each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, dude, I guess we can wrap this up, huh?
All right. Yeah.
I'm out of shit anyway. Hell,
Yeah.
there's not any cornhole on this weekend that I saw, so I'm a little
No.
burned out. But
Well, let's see. I'll give you a quick Texas, Pennsylvania update if we
let me see if I
find
can
it.
figure this out. Texas and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with. Is it just starting?
Yeah, it's top of the third, 2 outs, runner at first right now.
For who?
Texas is at bat.
So Texas has got a runner on. I'm going with it's probably 1 or 2 to nothing Texas.
1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good guesser, ain't I?
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm watching it. But I don't want to give away all my secrets.
Yeah.
So,
And the Patriots and Eagles are tied at 3 in preseason. They're just in the second quarter, so.
yeah. All right, dude. Well, listen, man,
All right.
we'll catch you all tomorrow here for the Stoner Sports, and tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for the what is it? The hideaway, Hippie Hideaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll catch you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace.